Welcome back, ODL fans. We are jumping into Game 3 of the Week 2 match between Classic eSports and Rawr KSG. It is time this best of 3 series. Classic eSports in Game 3 is going to be on the blue side with Rawr on the red side. I am once again joined by Colorcaster Alk Battery. Still doing all right, my man?
Oh, it has been a roller coaster of a ride. First starting off with a scum game, KT Luster game. Now we're here. Classic eSports versus Rawr. I'm ready. I'm ready for this game 3.
Me too, man. Definitely tell your friends you heard it here first. This is way more hype than anything that's happened at Worlds so far.
Play-ins, lol. Also, emerging regions. Emerging regions.
Hey, man.
But
not all the emerging regions, though. Like, Turkey, I am very into. Fenerbahce last year was really great, and Supermassive this year was wrecking place.
You did not just say Fenerbahce. It was good last year, dog. I know
they were fine for a wild card region. That was
for a wild card region jungler who couldn't come due to visa issues, and they had to. I mean, I guess, but they were kind of a team where you kind of farmed them for wins in the group stage. You got the farm. You got your free wins
in the group stage. So
yeah,
you got that. That speaks for that has to say something. You might be the only. You might be the only. You might be the only team in group stage that everyone's like, please let them be in my group, but they're not TSM sitting at home. So.
Oh, definitely not. Speaking of sitting at home, Classic eSports, definitely looking to try and get back into this series. I mean, it is 1-1. They did just lose. They won the first game in the series, and now coming off a fresh loss. Classic, they're gonna have to try and step up their game here. Their second game in the series was not very clean. Their macro rotations are pretty slow, and just in general, just felt like the whole team, once they kind of got behind, they stayed behind. They kind of played as if they were always behind.
You know, so far with the picks that have come out for Classic, we've got Kaisa, that sneaky special first pick Kaisa there. Tells me that maybe they're saying, okay, so let's not let it become a matter of macro. Let's just micro and hard win all of our lists. Now that might be a little bit much speculation off of one pick, but when I see that Kaisa first pick, that's what
I'm just to let everybody know, we did have to do some substitutions for Classic. Homie is being moved from the support role to the AD role, and they did have to bring a sub Fuzzy Dice for the support role. Don't worry though, Homie is actually a pretty good AD. AD player can play both sides of this bot lane matchup, so not too worried about that for right now. But Rawr picking up a really strong bot lane.
And the Alistar, oh my god, okay. I do have to say one thing about playing so far. I have become a believer renewed in Alistar thanks to God King Zazel, who is just carrying Cloud9 through every situation.
I was going to say, dude, have you been looking at Licorice Dog? Like, that guy's insane.
Oh, man. For real, though. Oh, my god. Cloud9 actually has an impressive squad so far. Let's see if they don't choke, because they definitely almost dropped a game to Kaboom.
Yeah. Rawr though, I mean, they pick for them Awu and Nezumi. They showed such dominance in the second game, and instead of moving on to the Karma, they're gonna pick Nezumi up the Rakan. Huge engage, so we're gonna have to keep close eyes on Nezumi and how they play out team fights and just this early game laning phase.
Definitely saw the power of the Trundle from last game and are absolutely opting to make him a part of the mix again. Camille also picked up again here. Ooh, so far this is very interesting. We've got what looks like the jungle and the ADC from Rawr and the top and the bot lane from Classic.
Yeah, Raynor not actually having a bad performance on the Camille. I just think not able to utilize a lot of the damage that you had and some of the strength that you had, considering most of your lanes were losing constantly. So I think just running it back with the Camille top lane could do them wonders. Do you see the mouth pipe being picked up for Rawr? So I do remember seeing. Yeah, I have seen a couple of games of Sputterhorn on the Malphite, and he actually is pretty good Malphite from what I remember a couple of months ago. So Malphite I know hasn't received either any changes or any meaningfully large changes. So I don't expect his skill on the champion to have eroded in any way, but am interested to see just how he'll be able to perform on this pick.
I'm hopeful and optimistic. I haven't seen Malphite in a while. He's kind of niche pickup for a while, where he does one thing really, really well. And, you know, with the changes to Ultimate Hat and how that worked, he just stopped being as viable because the runes didn't come together to let him do what he's good at as much. But hold on, I just need to stop and talk about another very interesting pick. Is that a Lux I see there?
Yes.
Locked in the mid lane? Ooh,
I
Lux
love this
Syndra.
matchup.
I haven't seen Lux Syndra matchup in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, the Lux Syndra matchup is going to be pretty skill reliant. Who lands the first, CC ability? Something to note also is the Swain pickup. So that means that Octave is going to be taking the Camille into the jungle.
Ooh, that's a nice little bit of flex tech there. I like seeing that. Speaking of Syndra and Lux, do you ever feel like Syndra should be able to use Force of Will to just pick up Lux's Lucent Singularity and throw it back in her face? Or is that too OP? Yeah, it's probably too OP.
Well.
Good thing I'm not a game designer.
Again, I think Syndra is a pretty strong champion, but also all of the things that she can pick up are physical materials, right? And Lux is I think it's her E, right? It's a ball of light, so it's not necessarily like a physical construct.
That's true, but she's doing a lot of manipulating those dark spheres, and those aren't a physical construct.
Yeah, but they become physical constructs because they're dark matter. And dark matter exists. We don't have hard light yet. Anyway, enough theoretical physics. We're gonna get into games soon. Sputterhorn repping the Odyssey, and he has the banner, the in-game banner, the loading screen banner. So we know at least Sputterhorn has some pretty deep pockets.
I am all in on that. Odyssey Malphite, kind of an underappreciated Odyssey skin, I'd say. And I think it's okay now because we have a pause, so now I can talk about all the random stuff.
There you go.
Forget the game. Although hopefully it will be short-lived. My cat fell in pool, says Heartshaker.
I love that. He did DC real quick, but it looks like he has reconnected, so probably going to get right back into game. I will say I'm a little disappointed in the Odyssey skin for Malphite, only because it looks rather different than, the splash art. The splash art makes it look as if he has like a furry neck and whatever, and he kind of, he's a really blue, but in the skin he has a bunch of metal around his neck. And
he looks so robotic in the, yeah.
Yeah. And we actually, someone did note that, actually wait, there's a duck in the middle of the river. That's actually super rare to see. The duck there. What a cute duck. By bot side in the pixel next to the pixel brush. If we can get a zoom in from our observer real quick, it is a beautiful duck. He's a rare occurrence. He actually doesn't spawn very often.
Oh,
so I love it.
I've never noticed that before.
Yeah, it's one of those rare occurrences. If you have 3 pool party skins, actually, a rubber duck usually spawns there, but he never, the duck there never usually spawns. Oh, there we go. We got the ducky cam. So
that is the most interesting thing that will happen this game. I'm calling it.
No, don't say that. Come on, climax, dude. Can we just stop casting at this point then? That's all I'm saying. If that's the most interesting thing, that's pretty yikes.
Well, we will see. I mean, with Kaisa Alistar versus Saya Rakan, that alone should have enough to keep us busy.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, considering your excitement for this Lux Syndra lane, I'm sure you're definitely going to be keeping a close eye.
Oh my god, this is going to be such a good game. It's Lux Syndra in the mid lane. We got Zyra Khan versus Kaisa Alistar, and we got a Malphite in this game. What? I'm loving it.
Exactly.
Ooh, Octave coming in already, hookshotting right on top of her. Flash clean out of the way right off the bat. That is terrifying. Ooh,
Looks like they're trying to get this level 1 advantage.
Trying to punish this early aggression and very BM positioning from Nezumi. Meanwhile, up in the top lane, Spoder1 and Rawr just going at it like they do.
Oh, wait a minute. Actually, Octave is going for a straight invade, punishing Bliss's clear here. He is going to get the Rift Scuttle, or sorry, the Scuttle down in bot side, but that is a red buff. He's going from red buff to red buff in terms of clear.
Ooh. And in exchange, Bliss is just picking up the Raptor, but oh, look at that. Octave is coming up, and he's trying to go for early gank on his Spoder1 through the Tri-Bush. He comes in with the Tactical Sweep and the Precision Protocol, but it will not be enough to take him below 1/3 HP. No Summoner spells burned on either side.
Yeah, that is, right now, Octave putting out a lot of pressure, something we didn't see in Game 2, which was, you know, people not being there, and the jungler's just hard farming. Homie is just really trying to survive this lane at this point.
There's one really interesting bit of asymmetry in the mid lane here, as Syndra has Electrocute, played by Silver Uzi, and Heartshaker has gone with Comet on Lux, which means that, but we do have, yet again, Octave coming up onto Spoder1, and Spoder1 now having to pop that flash to get away. That can't feel good.
Yeah, Rawr also has to blow the flash, doesn't necessarily land the never move, so great job there. This flash is going to be pretty important, as you know, Swain does have a lot of CC and just general slows in his kit. TP coming out.
He's coming back to lane with a Ruby Crystal, which should give him a little more survivability, I say, as he immediately drops to 2/3 HP.
Yeah, and Rawr suffering in you know, mana right now, at least a very much early game. Something to note, we have seen this before. I forgot where exactly I saw it. I think it was in EU. Someone was getting flamed for this on EU LCS, but you see Rawr has taken grasp of the Undying on Swain.
Ooh, and Homie getting taken very low. He's popped by Ignite, and Nezumi flashing forward and getting the Gleaming Quill kill onto him. And a Wu getting taken very dangerously low, as well as Nezumi is brought down in revenge by Fuzzy Dice.
No man, no flash on Rawr.
That frozen domain chained cleanly into that pillar of ice to obstruct Rawr's escape, and that is a 1-for-0 up in the top lane.
Yeah, great job already. Bliss showing great proactiveness on this Trundle, and the pillars have been great. Rawr again with no flash there, and now Bliss ends up seeing Octave backing. So
Rawr's TP'd back to lane, and he is already attacking Spoder1, but look at Bliss. He's posturing, he's coming up, and there's no vision. Rawr's backing off a little bit. I think he's got that Spidey sense going for him, but he's not backing off completely.
Yeah, he is gonna just back. He's not gonna he recognizes there's no camps to clear here, so he's gonna back finally, get some more items. Does get double control ward. Both junglers already have their smites, so
yeah,
gonna be interested to see what happens. Ooh, Fuzzy Dice actually got really far in the back.
It's interesting to see both Octave and Bliss playing so much more proactive a game, so much more active in the lanes than they were in Game 2.
No tank snooze. No tank snooze. But that ward.
Camille, Octave and Bliss meeting up as they both put down a control ward. And yeah, Octave opts to take out the control, focuses on getting that Rift Scuttler.
Yeah, if we actually look, Fuzzy Dice ended up roaming into the blue side of the jungle, got the ward, and ended up spotting Bliss pretty early, so Octave is able to get into position preemptively and make sure to, you know, get the drop, make sure that Bliss isn't going to gank this lane, put them maybe even farther behind than they expected. But we are waiting for the level 6 of Rawr, because they have the Zyre Rakan, which is going to be deadly. And ooh, that's a lot of damage.
Level 6s are up. Octave getting taken kind of low by Final Spark, having to back off.
Going so low there, and I mean, again, that's the full rotation of spells from Heartshaker spawn on this Lux. Doesn't have any mana anymore.
Is up to level 6, which means he has access to Unstoppable Force. Rawr, of course, has been sitting on Demonic Ascension for a little bit. It'll be interesting to see when and if the all-in gets committed to on either side of this top lane.
Yeah, that, and I'm interested to see. Wait a minute, they're gonna get caught in the bot lane now. Silver Uzi meeting Bliss in the jungle.
Catching that Silver Uzi, and Silver Uzi kiting him out with a scatter the weak. Fuzzy Dice and X-Homie dashing up into the jungle, trying to back up their mid and their jungle, but the enemy team will back off for the time being.
Yeah, great job there, and hopefully Bliss gives over this blue buff to Hearttaker. Looks like he is going to end up taking that for himself. So, rip all mid laners who've been asking for blue. We do see engage here. Oh, wait a minute. That should have been maybe a free kill onto Nezumi there. Fuzzy Dice could have just used the Alistar Pulverize, make sure that Rakan can't get back to the Xayah, but...
Coulda, shoulda, woulda, but sadly, Battle Dance, of course, with the Xayah Rakan lane has a dramatically increased range. So Nezumi is able to get off scot-free, although Octave here positioning in the tri-bush for a gank. Gonna flank just as soon as he has a chance. Fuzzy Dice gets in with a QW combo. Awu getting taken very, very low by that Acathian Rain. Just barely able to use Featherstorm to get to safety.
Wait a minute.
Octave getting taken so low by that Ignite and goes down. Very, very unfortunate turn of events.
Classic. So low, and Homie's still not level 6, so that might be one of the reasons why they couldn't exactly do anything here. They couldn't use the Killer Instinct. Fuzzy Dice still is sitting on ultimate, and that was a great escape. Being able to use the Battle Dance so that even past Flash ulted Xayah, she can get a lot of distance, and that helps Nezumi get out of that situation as well.
Comparatively very little vision on the bot side of the jungle right now. Neither team seems all that interested right now in this Infernal Drake, which makes sense, as Infernal Drake is going to become a lot more impactful later in the game. And to be honest, I don't think either team is really hoping that this goes to late game. I think they both want to get an early lead and win.
Yeah, especially Classic. Oh, wait a minute.
Silver Uzi getting brought down by one little combo, and Unstoppable Force coming on to Silver Uzi, and he flashes away from the final spark just in case and manages to just get past that Pillar of Ice, but is not able to get Blast Cone before Bliss chomps his head off.
Yeah, great play from there. Amazing decisiveness coming out from Rawr. That is one thing that we ended up praising them last game, was just how decisive they were comparatively to Classic. Just immediately going in. I think obviously both of these teams probably don't want to see it go to late, but if there is a team that can win in late, it is going to be Classic. The Swain in late game can put out so much damage in team fights, and Kaisa being one of those champions that just immediately destroy in the late game.
Not much Fuzzy Dice can do when you're an Alistar alone. And yeah, that is going to be the first turret going down in favor of Rawr as they bring down the outer mid turret.
And now we see Bliss running it straight down up the top lane with no vision, being able to see him. He can almost get this gank off.
Raynor in trouble. There's the Frozen Domain coming down. Pillar of Ice is still up and available. Spoder1 does not have Unstoppable Force. Raynor popping that Demonic Ascension, just waltzing right around that Pillar of Ice. He will have to pop his Zanya's passive, and he gets away! Why did they back off there?
Just barely. Octave just now showed up. Octave is also pretty low.
I don't understand why Bliss and Spoder1 didn't go for that.
I think they're actually pretty afraid of Hextech Ultimatum coming down and splitting them up. Also pretty close to being under turret, and turret damage alongside a Demonic Ascension is deadly.
True. And both Malphite and Trundle, two of the champions with the bigger models in the game, very easy to accidentally sidestep into tower range with those bigger models.
Yeah, this isn't tutorial mode. They don't give you the little, the turret ranges. We do see that Sana has now roamed down into the spot side. Looks like they're trying to go in.
Popping the quick net dice, but Fuzzy Dice still very, very safe. Very little damage going down. Fuzzy Dice didn't even pop ultimate in that fight there, and he's still looking pretty good at half health.
Half health from one ultimate from Hearttaker Shauna, so...
Yeah, there is that.
Yeah, also Octave is now down here, so matching in the lane. Syndra still pushing out this mid lane, so either they're gonna have to convert this into a turret, which I wouldn't be surprised if they can, because they do have a lot of turret damage now.
Technique as Bliss and Spoderwan are up at the top, and Hextech Ultimatum gets popped down by Octave. They will pick up Nezumi, and Vision of Empire getting popped by Rawr, and not quite managing to clip a Wu. A Wu and Heartshaker now safely under tower.
Yeah, the Rift Herald is now taken.
In the meantime, Rift Herald has been taken and is sitting in Bliss's pocket.
Yeah, Rift Herald is taken. Obviously, the top lane is pretty much pushing very hard in favor of Classic.
But coming in, hoping to disrupt this Infernal Drake. But I don't know if there's much he can do. 1v5, he unstoppable forces in on all 5 of them. Fuzzy Dice still with ultimate in hand. Oh my god! That is a Infernal Drake and a free kill on the Spoderwan going to the side of Classic.
That was pretty sketchy. That was a little sketchy there. Fuzzy Dice getting really low, the heal coming out from Homie. I think he was hoping for the Infernal Drake to do just a little bit more damage to Octave, so that Octave maybe gets taken down there, but still a lot of damage, and still the minion wave has still not necessarily crashed, but it is getting close. With his,
Nezumi with his grand entrance popping up Rawr, and Demonic Ascension will not quite be able to save him as he is chomped yet again by Bliss.
Yeah, interested he didn't walk back there. I think Awu was right on the edge of the Demonic Ascension. They are going to summon the Rift Herald down here, despite the turret already having like 4 health.
Will be enough for it to come down.
And it won't take
turret going down.
And it won't take a lot of health off of the Rift Herald, which is the more important part. So more damage, possibly going back down onto the second charge here.
But Fuzzy Dice is able to control its movement a little bit, and if they don't back this Rift Herald up, it's not going to get any damage on that inner turret. As the remaining members of Rawr opt to go back toward mid lane. I have to be honest, I'm a little confused at that macro decision.
Yeah, they dropped it. It looks like they're trying to maybe get a gank off on a Silver Uzi if he was still there. Awu had already backed when it was dropped, rotating to this top side, trying to get this last outer turret. It is 14 minutes going on 13. No turrets taken for Classic, and they are still down here trying to force this turret. And
Rawr trying to stop this turret take up at the top lane. Spoderwan taking that turret aggro. So far, no other blood being shed, though. Turret sitting at about 1/4 to 1/3 health. Rawr popping in with that never move, not managing to find any targets. Nezumi getting caught, having to battle dance over the wall, and snare going down on both Octave and Rawr by Lux. Well done, Heartshaker. Not quite able to get a pickup with that final spark, though.
Yeah, but now they have, healthier members up here. Rawr is at half health, still does not have Demonic Ascension, doesn't have Flash or TP. Silver Uzi is up here alongside Fuzzy Dice, but they might be able to just straight up siege this turret, depending.
Power, Force of Will and Scatter the Weak from Silver Uzi to try to push back this wave, but might just be delaying the inevitable. Although, Octave and X-Homie are back in the action now, heading up to try to defend this turret, getting less and less healthy by the second. Meanwhile, Bliss and Spoderwan. Nezumi getting caught by that hook shot from Octave, goes down instantly. Bliss has managed to pick up this blue buff for Heartshaker Sana, but was it worthwhile?
Yeah, the hook shot also coming out, and the Scatter the Weak landing onto Nezumi ends up being a pretty quick pick on him. The only question here is that the turret does have
against all 5 members of the enemy team. But Bliss is here, popping that frozen domain, trapping people under turret. And yet again, with a double snare from Lux, Spoderwan taking them very low. With Unstoppable Force, Heartshaker Shana not quite able to find a snare this time, but Fuzzy Dice left to the wolves. Rawr already down, Fuzzy Dice following in his footsteps. The rest of the team will get away on the side of Classic. But oh my lord, this turret is now virtually defenseless.
Yeah, that is the problem with Classic's team comp for right now. They need to set up for fights. They need to make sure that this Kai'Sa's in a better position. And the flank coming out from Rawr was pretty well executed. They were able to get Bliss straight onto Raynor, so Raynor is going to have a lot of health, but he's going to have almost negative resistances. So he's going to get blown up almost immediately. Octave can't do anything unless he's going to go in and try and blow up either Abu or Heart Shaker. And yeah, just again, that was a great team fight coming out from Rawr. So,
a little bit of a reset, a lull in the action. Where are we right now? We are 4K gold up for the side of Rawr, 3 turrets. But there is a Drake, an Infernal, which will become more and more effective as the game goes on, and all members of the team are able to rack up more bonus AD and AP. Yeah,
this is definitely looking like it might, depending on how Rawr want to play this. Ooh, miss on the hook shot there, but we can just take a look at the lanes right now. 20 CS up lead for Raynor, but a large amount of gold being, missing in that jungle. 30 CS, almost 20 now, going to be, a little bit rectified. Mid lane in favor of Uzi, so there is some CS differentials, but the turrets are some of the big, largest offenders of gold. 3 turrets to 0. A lot of these turrets are relatively healthy. I mean, bot lane is about 60%, mid lane is about 80, and top lane is, almost at the same state as bot lanes. So, it's not even that, they're standing gold. There's some turrets that are getting close to being down. They are still relatively healthy, and there's what's happening here?
Rawr has taken the Scuttle Crab and is setting up for a Cloud Drake, which at this point in the game, kind of transitioning into mid-game here, is going to be very, very impactful, which will just serve to empower the entire team to be a lot more quick with those rotations. And being as how this is a series which has largely been determined so far on this strength play, I think Cloud Drake could make the difference for either team.
Definitely. Just giving Kaisa even that just a little bit of movement speed alongside someone like Syndra, who is generally lacking a lot of mobility.
Classic is all but abandoning it. The play is open and clear for the members of Rawr to take a quick Cloud Drake wherever they want. As 4 members of Classic are walking into a trap potentially. Fuzzy Dice and Octave having to run away as the entire force of Rawr bears down on them. Octave missing another hookshot. Brilliant 3-man uncontrollable force, and final spark from Spoda1 and Heartshaker respectively. X-Homie getting ignited. And a massive seismic shard from Spoda1 clutching that kill. Nezumi getting brought very low, but being able to battle dance and grand entrance out as Fuzzy Dice is brought very low. Awu picking up the kill on that one. Bliss running forward. Despite being very low on health, Raynor, Demonic Ascension is active, but he is losing so much health. Able to clean up Bliss, but nothing else. Raynor goes down for 1 in favor of Rawr.
This is the exact strength of their team comp. Making amazing picks like this and having a really strong team fight. Spoda1 showing such great expertise now.
Very little to stop them now from taking this inner turret mid and then rotating down to bot and getting that as well if they want it.
Yeah, when it came to that dragon, there wasn't a lot to do for Classic. Their lanes are in complete shambles. They have pushing top lane, they have pushing bot lane, they have no outer turrets for right now, and it is just a, this is a result of losing lanes at this point.
A 4th tower.
Top lane wasn't able. Yeah, this is just getting very much out of hand. He's racing, trying to kill the chicken there.
So Baron is now freshly up and available. And as they kind of unwind from that 4th tower there, and the last team fight win, no doubt Rawr has to be thinking in terms of what can we do to make this better than later. As no doubt they are antsy to close out this game and pick up their first win of the main season.
Yeah, definitely. They're showing such great team fight play and very good macro decisions here. Their turret taking prowess is, in the last 2 games has been very, very high, and their ability to rotate and just immediately go onto a target has been very, very clean this series. So,
yet again, we got another lull in the action. Rawr, typically in this series so far, has been favored whenever those kind of quiet moments have happened because they've done a much better job of being able to group, act strategically and decisively, and set up the next fight. oh, look at that. Raynor might be about to get collapsed on. He's got a TP up, but not much else that can help him escape. But fortunately for him, the vision is up on Spoder Juan, who decides to cut his losses and just clear that ward. So Uzi and Octave trying to reinforce here on the top lane.
Oh, they do end up catching Fuzzy Dice here on the rotation, but I love this positioning already. You have your tank top laner in the bot side, although, you know, the TP is up. This does force Raynor to have to try and leave, maybe try and set up, you know, these group situations. We can get more on the Demonic Ascension, but they have their bot lane so that they can pressure this top side, so that they have the pressure for Baron, so that they can make sure that, hey, if we do Baron, we don't have to do anything. We can take this Baron and they can aggressively.
Never move coming down for Heartshaker Sana. On Heartshaker Sana from Raynor. Raynor not quite able to pick up anyone with the Vision of Empire, though. We do see wards coming down from Nezumi, trying to get some intel on the enemy team, and yet another Nevermore popped onto Nezumi, but nothing else so far.
Spoder Juan's literally just split pushing. He's just.
He can afford to. He can afford to. He has TP up. Why is Raynor not split pushing?
Yeah, I could see that. Possibly one of the reasons that they were looking to try and force a team fight while Raynor was there, trying to maybe create a pick so there's an absence of vacuum of pressure. But Spoder Juan, whether it be the Urgot or the Malphite, he is split pushing and making sure that he's applying a pressure.
Oh no! And the Silver Uzi gets caught by all of this, and the quickness coming down on the entirety of the enemy team. He battle dances out quick before he takes too much damage. He's brought down to half health, but he is healthy for now, and that might just be the pick that they need to pick up Baron as Spoder Juan pops his TP and joins them for a 5-man Baron take. Very difficult to contest without a huge source of damage from the side of Classic.
Yeah, it looks like they're just going to give this up. They're going to try and get their bot lane pushing, maybe try and get this mid lane pushing, but again, their waves are in shambles. One thing that they need to either learn from this game, or if they're going to try and at least come back from this, is that they need to make sure that the waves are in a position where they are not constantly getting pressured. Holy, that is a lot of attack speed on Aurum right now. But,
shoutouts to Rawr for having so superior vision control in the Baron pit area, being able to see the opportunity when Silver Uzi got a little bit too close behind that wall and just pop him with a couple of clean skill shots and close the deal.
Yeah, this game is getting very, very close to being closed. Their team fight is just really, really great right now. A lot of the members of Classic are still waiting on items. Octave, he does have his jungle item completed, but he's on the Tiamat and does have the Jorum's Fist, so might be looking to go Sterix next. Doesn't have really a completed item like something like a Triforce to really enhance the damage. Silver Uzi still on the Ludens, and the Oblivion Orb just picked up recently. Kaisa still not having Rage Blade, still not able to get those double Phantom hits. Awu just with a lot of damage right now, and it is looking pretty bleak for this side of Classic.
Well, my usual joke that I tell in these scenarios is that this is a lead that only TSM could throw, which is funny, but also prophetic, because sometimes you do throw. Fuzzy Dice popping his having to pop his unbreakable will to break the CC from Lux.
Yeah, and that is going to be a dragon. This is going to be the Ocean Drake. This is going to be another reason for Spoder Juan to just sit in the side lane and just never do anything Raynor. So, again, and if we take a look at the map, the lanes are in control for Rawr. The top side is slowly building, not necessarily going to push out in the bot lane. Still a little bit in favor of Classic, but this mid lane is huge. They have the Baron still, so they can just run it down mid. Put down a lot of pressure. It looks like Nezumi is heading back to catch up the minions, and just again, one thing if there's anything to note from this game is that Rawr's wave control and macro has been pretty immaculate for the most part.
And we are maybe seeing a fight here with the Dark Sphere getting thrown down by Syndra as an early volley. Heartshaker not seeing anyone with that poke. Ooh, heartbreaking final spark that doesn't quite hit anyone. Spoder Juan with the Hex Tech ultimatum. Bliss coming in, and Spoder Juan with his unstoppable force, able to get so much damage and CC down, but Spoder Juan taking too much turret damage down before Spoder Juan can get completely closed out. Raynor with the Demonic Ascension, but finding nobody with that Demon Flare. Bliss running with the Subjugate, not finding a target for it. Is 2-for-1 inhib turret and inhib found in favor of Rawr.
Yeah, they trade 2 for 1. Awu not using the ultimate, pretty interesting. Possibly could have lived, dodged the, the unstoppable display of skill coming out from Unleashed Power on Syndra's ultimate. But yeah, they do break the inhib there. They trade 2 for 1, and Kaisa still not able to put out enough damage or really do much against.
Yeah, interesting to note that both Bliss and Awu went that whole fight without popping their ultimates. And that's a little weird because Bliss had direct access to Fuzzy Dice and probably could have benefited, stayed up there on the front line and not had to bug out quite so soon if he had access to those increased resistances.
Yeah, and I think Awu probably lives there, but again, small micro decisions that end up, they're small mistakes. But I guess, but if you win the game, then you can kind of shore those up later in the game or into the next week.
Yep, because the truth
Classic,
of the matter is that for Rawr, it's only the difference between winning a little and winning a lot.
Yeah, for Classic to come back here again. One thing they need to make sure is they need to have these lanes in control, as I've said time and time again. They also need to just find a really good pick, maybe onto Hearttaker Sana, maybe onto Awu like they did there, but they need to make sure that they're able to kill the damage threats.
Could be about to be collapsed to your dangerous position. Having a hook shot over a wall, but not quite getting away from Nezumi. Nezumi opting to bug out just as the rest of Classic is showing up. Probably a smart, safe play.
Yeah, now they're actually gonna. Okay, it looks like Awu was gonna try and catch this bot lane that is pretty stacking up pretty hard, but it looks like they're gonna try and pick up one of the last outer turrets here in the top lane. Ooh, a 3-man route with the never move. My Swain Manzer.
Ooh, very low, but just barely surviving. But the quickness coming down for Nezumi, but he will get caught in that Hextech ultimate and brought down the first casualty of this fight. Raynor brought very low. Fuzzy Dice already having to bug out from the fight. Bliss getting brought very low, but Sputter1 being able to take Octave. So far it is 2 for 2. 3 for 2 as Raynor gets brought down. Sputter1 running in and tanking the turret. Heartshaker steps out just a little too far, and Heartshaker takes the aggro for just long enough to be forced out of this fight. But they do have priority on this mid lane, and they are able to maybe get some damage. Oh, but Fuzzy Dice with a flash pulverize, able to catch Awu. Awu gets taken very low, but just not quite enough damage on that headbutt, and Fuzzy Dice is pushed back by the damage from both Heartshaker and Awu.
Silver Uzi also goes down, so they are able to get some Nexus turret damage down, but Awu going really, really low, so not able to capitalize on this. Might actually end up trying to trade for this bot side. An amazing fight out there. Awu putting out so much damage, not able to get onto him and do anything to him until the end there, where we did see the flash headbutt pulverize and even the Scatter of the Weak barely landing and not able to capitalize on this. They're not going to be able to grab this bot side, so just a lot of minion CS going over probably to Octave. This is, I mean, again, even with mistakes, pretty glaring mistakes, or even some glaring catch-outs with Nezumi going in pretty far in the Hextech Ultimatum, they are Classic just not able to really capitalize on them. In any meaningful way, I should say.
And the thing that I'm starting to realize that Nezumi keeps getting caught in these. Was that just an unstoppable force that I just saw there? MB guys, don't blame.
Sputter1 took the blue buff from Heartshaker, and so Heartshaker, they both decided to trade ultimates. They have pretty low cooldown ultimates. 84 seconds on Malphite, 5 seconds. Oh, it's just that much of a
just to clear some of that wards. Here's the thing. Nezumi really is baiting ultimates when he jumps in that deep with the quickness. And honestly, we can say that he was the first one to go down, but there are probably much better uses for Hextech Ultimatum than to hit only the enemy's support.
Yeah, and especially when the enemy support is so far up. I mean, he was at the inhib turret is still up, so he's already back at inhib next to the the base
Octave
entrance.
Jumping on his Photo1, who's finding himself completely alone here. The Void Seeker will not quite hit Photo1, so no killer instinct available yet. But it is all a distraction tactic as the rest of Rawr is trying for that Baron.
There they have it. They can just do it with the 3 of them. The top lane was building pretty high for Classic, so Looks like Heartshaker is going to try and go over
Second
there.
Baron of the game getting picked up by Rawr. And now, with an exposed inhibitor at mid, there is... Oh, but we have a teleport coming in from Spoder1 and another one from Rawr. This is... They are trying to catch Classic out here. And coming in, Nezumi with a battle dance forward, and he goes for the quickness, but he will go down immediately to yet another Hextech ultimatum. The damage is just too far behind for Rawr, even though Fuzzy Dice is going to go down, and Killer Instinct X-Homie coming very low, having a stopwatch right away. Hookshot coming in onto Spoder1's face, and Octave got brought very low, liquefied by this Bliss and Awu. Rawr finding the damage. It is 3 for 2 cumulatively for Rawr, and Rawr brought very low in danger, and he is dead. The 4th casualty. 4 for 2. Yet another stirring, convincing teamfight win in favor of Rawr.
Feels bad, man. Homie goes in with the Killer Instinct, has pretty great positioning, and again, Abu was actually somewhat low during that fight, but a stopwatch. Trying to, maybe stop some damage, and that is a huge wave in the mid lane. That is 2 waves worth of minions in it, so not able to clear a lot of it. This
very
could be the end of the
surprised
game.
that there's much that can be done. This is at least 1 Nexus turret, maybe 2. Silver Uzi getting caught out, brought very, very low by the final spark. Leandri Tix not quite enough to bring him down. He will have to back off, and he's out of commission for a few precious seconds. Fuzzy Dice left alone, but Octave and Homie quickly backing him up. But will the Winions be enough to bring down the second Nexus turret? Rawr choose yet again to play it safe. Oh, but Octave hookshotting in, having to flash out almost immediately. Nezumi in with yet another ultimate. The quickness coming in, charming almost the entirety of the enemy team. Silver Uzi brought down. Homie brought down. Bliss getting knocked back by a headbutt, but not before Fuzzy Dice gets brought down again by Heartshaker Sana. Bliss coming in, picking up this Nexus turret, and this will almost certainly be the game and the best of 3 series going over to Rawr with their first game, their second game and their first match won in the season. They are on the board.
Great job. Amazing job from Rawr. That last team fight was really impeccable. The Camille not necessarily working out, not able to make the picks that are necessary when you have something like the Camille against the Lux and the Xayah here. Great job from the bot lane with pretty great carry performances. 9-1 on here. The Twitch in that last game, although not as clean, still an amazing performance. Spoder1 also a pretty, I would say, I've been singing a little bit of his praises, but his top lane performances in these last 2 games have been pretty impeccable. I would say the Urgot play was very, very clean. Obviously, we did see some mistakes, but that is to be expected. It is a gold league, but just always making sure that he's a role player, always doing his role, whether it be on the Urgot and doing a lot of damage, maybe doing a little bit of split pushing. Also on this Malphite, still doing that split pushing with the with the void of pressure, but great unstoppable forces and just in a great team fighter all around.
Absolutely. So if we had to give player of the match out right now,
this match or just
the series? The series.
Okay. Well, the series, I want to say, despite my praises, I mean, Awu, obviously he's being set up for a lot of success with these picks. Spoder1, as I just said, is doing pretty good, but I do want to have to give it to Bliss. Bliss has been putting up great performances in these last 2 games of the series. His Trundle, not banned away, which I thought was pretty interesting. They probably didn't see it as much of a threat, but his jungle prowess, just the ability to get those ganks off, and his pillars were just really immaculate. And I just feel like Bliss definitely was doing a lot that wasn't necessarily, his praises weren't necessarily being sung.
I agree. Bliss definitely was there. He was exerting pressure. He was very present. But in terms of player of the match, I've got to disagree and say my vote goes to Heartshaker Sana. It's not just about the insane scoreline, but how many was a team fight kicked off by Heartshaker managing to just thread the needle with a Q and wreck one of the carries from Classic before the fight even started.
Yeah, definitely on that Lux, I'd have to say it was a pretty great Lux performance from Sana there. Just in general, making sure to abuse that matchup when it comes to mobility and always landing, some binds or even that final spark in a lot of those team fights was pretty influential to doing damage. So I think a lot of Rawr's team were firing on all cylinders when it comes to this series.
Yep, this is the feel of a returning champion squad.
Yes, definitely. If this is, again, these are our returning champions for this season, and if this is how they're going to play in a lot of their games, I fear for a lot of the other teams how they're going to be able to perform against, a team that has relatively, really great macro, some great players in almost all their positions, and just a very versatile team. I'd love to see what happens when Bliss doesn't necessarily get the Trundle, however, but I'll just have to save that for another series.
I'm sure we will have an opportunity soon enough, as this is just week 2 of ODL's Gold League Season 3. Thank you very much, everybody. I have been Author Cook, your play-by-play caster. I have been joined tonight by Alk Battery on the Colorcast. Thank you, and have a great night.
Bye, have a wonderful night.